Christmas is coming. The goose is getting fat. Yep, I'm finally making some headway with Christmas around here. With all the trips back and forth to doctors in my spare time, I'm getting that done. So join me for a little bit of Christmas and chit chat. And of course, talking about my energy, my waning energy at 88. Good morning, my friends. Well, it's Wednesday, midweek, and I'm trying to get things done little by little, in between going to doctors and various other things, and in between resting. And you know what? The most important thing of all my days, are the days that I have to rest. It's not all day long, but honestly, I'm noticing a difference. I can't lie. So, first thing I want to show you is, yes, I've made some headway up here. I did order one of those nice fluffy garlands, and I think it's 9 feet long, and it goes down both sides a bit, and it comes with the lights on it. And I put it up. Some of the blue and white, I think I left 1 or 2 dishes up there, but most of the blue and white china I did bring out. And I've decided, because of my blue and white tiles that I painted and installed on the fireplace, I think of all the things that I put up there during various times of the year, I just love the blue and white china the most. Actually, I have it everywhere, and I've always loved it. So Aiden just left, and we did manage to get my creche out, my nativity scene. At first, I decided just getting the tree up was big. Well, here's where the tree goes. Right here, this in front of this nice big window, and this is where normally I film.
I think that's the most lights we've ever had.
Aiden's just put our angel up. That poor old-looking angel was our very first angel on our very first tree. To be able to do that and get that up, and Aiden did all that, decorated it. We couldn't quite find the skirt that I was looking for because I have so many Christmas tubs. And I think that's one of the things in the new year that are going to be pulled out, and the kids are going to go through them and take what they want. Remember, I bought 2 of those nativity scene houses and 2 of the sets of all the 24 nativity scenes, Mary and Joseph, baby Jesus, the little tiny figures. And when I saw the house and then I saw the little figurines and everything, I thought, oh, what a cute idea to just put a tiny figure in each drawer, and then one at a time, as each day passed during Advent, the children would take one out and put it up on the nativity scene. There was a little place up in the top where I painted some trees. Now they came raw wood, which I knew, and I did manage to paint all the drawers and put the numbers on and kind of paint some trees and the rest of the barn. And as it turned out, the little figurines did not fit in the drawers. So the children, both sets of families that we visited, and we did visit, I think on Monday, we visited Colin and Brianna and their 2 little girls. One is in kindergarten and the other one is still in preschool. Paisley had painted. And they love them. And right off the bat, as soon as we gave them to them, yes, they started to rearrange them and have fun with them. And that was what I really wanted to see. I did get a chance to explain a little bit to them, but their mommies and daddies have kept them up pretty well on the birth of Jesus. And Colin spent some time going over it with the little one, too.
Oh, baby Jesus goes right there. That's a good place.
There they are, Peyton and Paisley. Put that, too. Oh, I love that you did such a pretty job.
I just had one.
Do you like it, Moosey?
Oh, that is so nice.
Do a screenshot from this. Oh, that would be beautiful. Everybody do a prayer, Moosey. They're doing a prayer. Fold your hands, Moosey. So we are thrilled. I managed to get those out. Now, the Advent calendar is still on the back burner. The other family that I was going to give that to was our grandson Billy and his wife Lila. Their little 2 daughters Tegan and Hayden, but I think too much of the Advent season has passed to be able to. That was one of those felt hanging Advent calendars, and the little figures, and maybe I'll still give it to them for next year, but I'll get them something else. We will see most of these families on the 21st, which is our Christmas family get together, and that's at Cindy and Matt's house. So we're really looking forward to that. So today, when Aiden came, my goal was to start a little work on some of the Christmas tubs. I still haven't completely gone through some tubs in the shed where my winter sweaters and things are. I'm trying to get rid of some of the sweaters to just lessen the amount. I don't go anywhere anymore. And speaking of Christmas sweaters, I did have to buy a new, this had nothing to do with the sweaters, but it does in a way. I did have to buy a new tripod. My other one of the legs gave out. Well, I know what that happens. It was getting old, and my legs are giving out too. But I couldn't use it anymore because it was starting to get crooked. So it was during Prime Days, and I sent for another one and got it really cheap. However, this does not bend forward or go back, the top. So when I put my camera, and I'm going to show you, I can't move it up. I can't move it down. Now I can move it sideways, but not up and down. And that's crucial, especially the idea is to be able to fill the space with your head. Like for instance, if my head was way down here, that wouldn't make any sense and you wouldn't be able to see my sweater. But right now I have to keep it quite low for you to be able to see my sweaters. Now, let's talk about Christmas sweaters. This one I did get 2 years ago. Usually I get a new one every year, every other year. I don't think I got one this year. If I did, I can't remember. But this sweater I thought was so cute. And it has little polar bears with Christmas hats and Christmas stockings all the way down there to the bottom. Isn't it cute? Now you can only see one row here. And it's a soft gray. And even though today is 80 here in Southern California, I just have to wear my Christmas sweaters, right? But when you go into the stores, you don't see beautiful Christmas sweaters like you used to. I have saved all my old Christmas sweaters, and I do have some. Is my blush too dark? I can't see anymore in here. All my lights have moved because we had to move my table this way, and the tree is now in front of the window. So, as I was saying, you can only see a bit of my sweater, and I might have to send for another tripod where the top part is adjustable. I wasn't looking for a fancy one when I went online. I was just looking for a normal one to be able to put my camera on, or not my camera, I use my phone. And it just doesn't do what the other one did 6 years ago. So, by the way, I received a happy birthday notice from YouTube today, not for my birthday, but for my YouTube's birthday. 6 years ago today, I joined YouTube, and the only reason I was able to do it is because I went up to our Apple store at the mall, and I needed a new iPad. And Moosey and I had sort of just discovered YouTube. Can you believe it or not? All those years YouTube was on, I was not part of it. Just too busy raising kids and babysitting grandkids and enjoying my life. And someone said, Mom, wouldn't that be a fun thing to do for posterity, for the kids, to do these videos about family and whatever? So that day, Moosey was with me that day too. I sat around this table of 8 people. In those days, they would have an instructor, all for free, up at Apple, and they would help you as you needed anything to do with their iPads or iMovie or anything like that. I learned how to use iMovie and edit on my own eventually, and with some help from grandkids. I eventually learned how to do thumbnails and titles and all that, and how to fix things. I learned that on my own. So it was a kind of a process, the whole thing. But to be able to put a YouTube on video, I learned that from my good friends, and I call them my Apple family. And today, even today, some of those same guys are still working there, and every once in a while I have to go up and they straighten me out, or if I need a new iPad or a new phone or whatever. So I have to thank Apple on YouTube's 6th birthday that here we are, and because of you, and because of Apple, and because of you, my friends, YouTube said that I was aging very beautifully. Now, he wasn't talking about me. He was talking about my YouTube, that it was aging very beautifully. I thought that was kind of cute. Now, on the other hand, maybe within the next 6 years, no, I'm kidding. I doubt very seriously if I'll still be doing YouTube 6 years from now. But wouldn't it be nice if we could have hit 100 and gotten one of those plaques? I don't know. We'll see. But I thought that was kind of an interesting, how they keep track of you, I don't know, but they do. That's so interesting, isn't it? So yesterday's trip with Moosey and doctoring, as I call it, my new life of making appointments and taking Moosey to doctors. We made an appointment down at the VA, not at the VA big medical building down in Long Beach, which is where we'd go for normal things. But now we use Medicare much more often than the VA system, except he still has his eyes and ears and things, not eyes, ears and little things like that, taken care of by the VA. And it was time for him, definitely, to have an ear exam. I think the last one might have been 2 years ago. Maybe we just got new hearing aids. I don't even know if they gave him a hearing test then, but he hasn't been wearing one of the hearing aids because it's been broken. I don't know what's wrong with it. He didn't know either. But for at least a month now, and it's taken us that long to get an appointment, he hasn't been wearing it. So things have been bad. And when he takes the other hearing aid out, which is when he gets into bed at night, forget it. Conversation is over because he doesn't hear me. If I try and talk loud, he accuses me of screaming at him. And if I don't talk loud enough, well, you know the drill, ladies. If your hubbies are hard of hearing too, you know what you go through, more so than what he goes through, right? But he hasn't been hearing things when we're at somebody's house and the kids are all playing, or there's some music or TV on in the background. That's when his hearing is really bad. So I was so happy that we got this appointment and we drove down to Newport. Well, it was okay going down on the 5, but when you reach that beach area, there's detours going on and everything, and I got lost to someplace I go to all the time with him. And we had to follow detours and big piles of dirt everywhere. They're digging up roads and whatever. But we finally got there, and the woman did the full-on hearing aid thing with him. I love the sign. And there he is. All sorts of testing. And I could hear what's going on sitting outside this they had the doors closed, and she was working with earphones and he was in another room, and he'd have to answer to the buzzer when he heard this or didn't hear it. It's very interesting. She also checked his processing of words, which he was having problems with. When I would say one word, he'd think of it as another word. It didn't make sense, and that was kind of frustrating for both of us too. But anyway, in the end, he also had a lot of wax in his ears. So in the end, when it was all over, she called me in, and we all three of us sat, and she told us that his hearing was pretty much the same as it was 2 years ago, and that it was really almost even a little bit sharper. Even the processing. I said, that's amazing. I would never have thought that because of what had been going on the last year or so. So that's good news, actually. However, the one hearing aid was broken and she has to send that away to be fixed. So for the next month, he still will not have one hearing aid. And that's not good. That's when he doesn't hear me too. So maybe with some wax gone, he'll hear me a little bit better until the other one comes back. So that's that story. Today, I call it my day off, but it's not really my day off because I have to get the wash done and all the things around here. Aiden did come to help me with certain things, but I always have to participate in these things. These are the things that I want to do with him, especially with bringing things or taking things in and out of the house. I have to be there, and by the time I'm finished with that, I need a rest again. And Moosey wanted a haircut today, but sometimes you have to say no, not today. Today's my day, or at least my day to catch up. But I need a me day one of these days where I do nothing. And I know it's my age, and I try really hard these days to do all the things that they say you must do to stay healthy during these, what they call bonus years, the 15 years after you're supposed to fall off the cliff at 75, which I did not do at 75. I sort of started to fall off the cliff at about 85, 86, really. Right now I'm 88. I would say 86. That's when I started to notice the biggest decline in energy and just wanting to rest more, to feeling a little more bogged down with everything. And maybe that's all the new things that have started to happen too. That's probably more of it. But I know I have to take care of myself. And sometimes I got to say no. Like right now, Aiden has left. And basically, I have energy to sit here and talk to you. That's about it right now. After this, I probably will lie down on the bed, just rest. I feel the need to drink a lot of water right now, too. I've got to go get some cold water. I've already had my morning water. I've had my sunlight. I've done my little exercises with my heels and all those things in the morning that I tell you to do. Let's see, I've had some broccoli. This morning we had eggs with a little bit of cheese in them, but I still had my broccoli. And yesterday morning I had herring and broccoli. And the morning before that it was sardines. These are the things that have more protein in them than anything. Sardines, herring, what's the other one? Tuna. Let's see, the night before last, we were going out to one of the family's houses to deliver a gift. It was about 5 o'clock. So I thought, well, let's eat before we go. So I didn't want to make a big dinner. So I thought, protein. It's always on my mind. In the old days, you just got on with your life. You ate whatever was around. You made good meals. You never thought that you needed protein and fiber to keep the constipation away and this and that. But now it's all a science about keeping this body going, because if this body breaks down, we're in big trouble around here. That's for sure. But anyway, I made a tuna fish sandwich, and I put some real chopped up real fine red onions in it. I put some chopped up real fine celery. I put dill and relish. And I made this great tuna salad sandwich on rye bread. And we had it with some pickles. That was our dinner. Full of protein, by the way. Tuna's a great one. Wasn't up the top there. And it was the perfect supper to be able to run out afterward. And we weren't hungry when we got home because we normally eat about 4:30 anyway. So that's that. So maybe later in the afternoon, it's a nice day outside, and Moosey's hair does need to be cut. And maybe I will, after some resting, I've just done quite a bit of work with some tubs. I've brought in some sweaters, taken out some sweaters, filled up some bags to go in the trunk. The clock is still up there, the cuckoo clock. And, I know that my washing machine is going to be finished soon, And then I have to start hanging up some things and putting some things in the dryer. And it's early afternoon. Maybe I'll get the haircut in, maybe I won't. But he'll survive another day, won't he? So I think I might do that the day that we take him to get some blood work, and that's the day after tomorrow. Maybe that's a day where I can fit in 2 Moosey days and enjoy one whole me day. That might be tomorrow for me. I don't know what I'll do. I've noticed that I haven't been sprucing up, shall we say, the way I normally do for a YouTube. I noticed some of my older videos, I really spent more time on my makeup. I don't now. I kind of get it on. I need to do something with my hair. I don't know what. Some fancy hairdo. I'm happy that I cut it because it needed it. It was a little too long, but maybe something a little more stylish. Oh, you don't need all the other things that I have to do with I did get some chin hairs done, but just, maybe it would even involve going out. I notice that sometimes if I go out early in the morning and enjoy myself just a little while, I can't stay out 4 or 5 hours like I used to, but just doing something for me, whether it's resting or sprucing myself up a bit or what, I think I want a me day. Speaking of making things easy, this is what I've been using lately, and everybody's talking about it. I mean, Rockstar Mom has been doing videos on this, and they've been doing beautifully. I have a feeling everybody is learning about the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin. Make your face look so. Now, if I spent a little more time, I suppose, but all I did was put a couple of dots of this on, put my blush on, and honestly, it covers beautifully. So this is what I'm down to, by the way, with either my Nivea underneath or my Bio Oil Gel. Now, if I don't put the Bio Oil Gel on or the Nivea, the e.l.f. does not go on smooth enough. I have very, very dry skin. So I give my Nivea or my e.l.f. maybe about 15 minutes to sort of sink in and then put this on. It's doing the job when I'm not spending too much time on myself. I did manage to actually get some polish on, but I even have a couple of broken nails and things. But I do need a me day, don't I? I wasn't going to put up my nativity scene. I always have this nativity scene that I put out here, and it's been one of the things that children love to look at. And I have so many. I used to buy a new or find something at the thrift shop, a new animal or a new character, a new shepherd every year. And I had accumulated quite a collection for my nativity scene. I have a big, beautiful wooden barn. And I wasn't going to put it out this year. I was just going to concentrate on the mantle and have the tree up and kind of just leave it at that. It's enough to keep Moosey and I in the spirit, hopefully. And the rest of the time, we'll be going up to Colleen's in the morning, and she has her house all decked out. It looks wonderful, even with a singing Santa, a full live Santa. So that should be enough for us, and especially going over to Matthew's. His house will be decked out, and the whole family will be there. I think that's enough for us, and it saves some of my energy. And as I said, the 7 or 8 tubs full of Christmas things from years and years ago will go to the children. They can take what they want, and the rest will go to Goodwill, I guess. But someone mentioned the other day they saw Patrick sitting up on the grandfather clock. Well, yes, he's been there all summer long. Last year, at the end of the holiday, he asked me if he could stay, just kind of hibernating up there on the clock, that he was getting old too, and that couldn't he just stay there, that his energy was waning, and he just didn't want to travel all the way back to the North Pole. So I said, go for it, and he did. However, he reminded me the other day that he thought maybe some of you ladies might like to play the game. He's our elf on the shelf, and he would love to bop around. He has some Christmas energy, so maybe I'll let him do that. Now that I check him out, He doesn't look like the same fellow that was around at Christmas a year ago or all those years before this. He just wanted to hop on my shoulder here. He looks like somebody who might have dropped around on St. Patrick's Day a year ago. But he'll play the game. He'll be Patrick for Christmas if you want. So he just whispered in my ear, what? Oh, okay. He said he's going to hide someplace, and in the next video, you have to find him, okay? So let me know when you find him. Let's see who's the first, okay? Now, I did just get out our stockings. I always keep these. I don't put these in a tub out in the shed every year. I put them on a shelf way up high in my closet, so I know I'll always know where they are. Now, these are Moosey's and my stockings. Now, this little felt stocking was Moosey's stocking from the time he was a little baby, and we kept our stockings all these years. Now, you can see we have put all kinds of things on here, Moosey especially, and I made these velvet stockings years ago when I made all those stockings for the kids. Now, you can notice how the felt is. Now, as you can see, my mother, let's see here, my mother saved my stocking. This is what those stockings looked like back in the 30s when we were born. They were felt, and now, of course, the red is all faded. And when we made these stockings years and years ago for all the family, and as they grew year after year, I kept making them. And as I kept making them, I decided I would do ours, and I superimposed them on the red velvet. I made usually quilted fabric, which I can't find anymore for Charlie's stocking. So some of the stockings the past couple of years have been made with a fleece lining, which is okay. But we've put all sorts of little things on here, and these are our stockings, which will be hung on our mantle here. I don't know how I'll figure it out, but we'll figure it out. So that's that. And right now, I think I'm just going to kind of relax. I'm happy that we have the mantle done. The stockings are out. The tree is up. Sits. Yes, good boy. Don't chase the cat away now. I've got a new cat. Sort of. Oh, yes.
Lay down.
What a good doggy. And I'm satisfied. I don't know whether Moosey will get his hair cut today, but maybe tomorrow or the next day. He'll be okay. Well, thanks so much for being here with me, my friends. Thanks for subbing, those of you who have, new people, and thank you just for being here. I love all of you. We're so thankful for you, and I hope you're all having a very pleasant couple of weeks up toward the holidays. You know, don't do more than you think you have to. Honestly, a tree, a mantle, and a few other things this year seems to be okay for us. Those of us that are super agers, us up in our 80s, I think we've reached that point. We can glow and get all the enjoyment that we want from family, friends, and just sort of hunkering down. We're grateful to be here. We're grateful for each other, our family, our friends, and yes, so grateful for all of you. Bye for now. See you real soon. And God bless us all, everyone.